Hey, what's up? So I'm back. Sorry, I missed a couple days. It's alright, I'll come out with 3 videos today. So, this week I'm talking about entropy and extremes. It's a really cool topic. And the reason it's so important is because it is everywhere. There's no escaping the fact that everything has an opposite. Absolutely everything. And that's why I'm going to talk about it this whole week. I gave a whole week to it. So today our topic is going to be a kingdom of extremes. Kingdom of extremes means that our universe that we live in today is entirely made up of extremes, opposites, right? And these opposites are constantly at struggle with each other. We have the fight between light and dark, yin and yang. We have the struggle between good and bad, once again, yin and yang. We have the struggle between fire and ice. That's the most basic. It's everywhere. There's absolutely nothing that you can look and think about that does not have an opposite. Absolutely nothing. And so that's where we get our idea about the kingdom having complete means between the extremes. And so we have the extremes, everything from the emotional level between good and bad, happy, sad, to the universal level between gravity and dark energy. Gravity pulls everything together, and dark energy is pushing everything apart. So it's a really interesting topic, and so that's what we're talking about today. And so this is our kingdom of extremes. It's everywhere. Everything in our society has an extreme, an opposite, or basically just extreme. So what we get is we always get this consistent struggle between these extremes, right? Fire is always fighting ice, right? You always have this. Good is fighting bad. That's just what happens. And so now we need to decide whether it's good or bad to be at balance. Whether you want to just accept the struggle, or whether you want to somehow fight against it. And that's basically going to be the discussion for this week. And so this week we're going to talk a lot about specific opposites and extremes. But one of the main things we're going to talk about is entropy, and how our extremes lead to entropy, and how entropy is crucial to us. So Darwin talks about how the meaning of evolution is to fight entropy long enough to reproduce. Like, that's the purpose of evolution. And so for humans, we are the kings of adapting. There's no other species that adapts as well as we do. We're the only species to live on all 7 continents, across every ocean, everywhere. We live on the entire planet Earth. And now there's definitely species that can live in more cold weather or more warm weather or whatnot. But our species, we're adaptable to this entropy, the fight between the extremes from hot and cold, because we use our brains. So touching into what we were talking about last week with knowledge and education, our ability to educate ourselves and become knowledgeable is how we can adapt to the extremes and become at balance. And so our question is whether or not that balance is good. And for most philosophers, the balance between the extremes is the way of life. It's how you have to live, the good life. Especially for Aristotle. Aristotle talked about it, and he said that we are supposed to be mean, the man who follows the mean. That's similar to what Confucius talked about in the Doctrine of the Mean. And we'll talk about that on a later date. But this extremes, they're everywhere, and so we have to decide the good mean. And so that's when we get to the specifics, because it's very subjective. Everything has a subjective quality to it because there are two extremes and we have to find a median, a balance. Anything that has to do with balance is very subjective. And so it's a very subjective topic. And so for each individual set of means, it's gonna be up to the person to decide what's best. And that's another thing. There's no right and wrong. So it's a tricky topic, for sure. And it fits in with everything. Because if you understand that you're going to be into that, you're going to be a part of that struggle, part of that entropy, then you can become more balanced with it. So just like the stock market, let's take that for example. Stock market has an up day, it has a down day, it has bear market, bull markets. And so what you have to do is, the best way to become above the constant volatility of the market is to hold your investments, right? So holding your investments allows you to become a balance between the extremes. You're not phased by that struggle. And so you're at balance. And so that's what you need to do in your life, right? You need to be in it for the long haul. Because time is the one resource that we can never get back. Time is the most fleeting resource on planet Earth. And no one has enough of it. And so we need to use it to our advantage. And so to use it to our advantage, you need to forget about the good day or the bad day and just imagine and understand that you're going to be at balance. And so it's not good to be too selfish, and it's not good to be too selfless. It's not good to be too nice, and it's not good to be too mean. You got to be at balance. And so for selfishness and selflessness, when you're too selfless, you leave nothing for yourself. It's like you're the opposite of a black hole. You're consistently pushing out as much energy as possible onto other people, and then you don't get anything in return. If you're too selfless, you don't receive anything. But on the other hand, if you're selfish, it's terrible. Nobody likes a selfish person. If you're terribly selfish, you'll be unhappy because you don't receive anything from anybody else, because you keep all your energy for yourself. You don't receive any benefit. So that's where we're at today. Later on, I'm going to talk about the entropy between rationalism and empiricism and philosophy. I'm going to talk about Aristotle versus Taoism. I'm also going to talk about more specific extremes, and I'm going to relate all of this to education and adaptability, because adaptability is a really important topic here, because if you can adapt to, if you're at balance, you can adapt to the extremes. So that's what we're talking about today. We have a kingdom of extremes. Basically that means our universe is made up of extremes in every sense. So that's it. If you like this video, go ahead and give me a thumbs up, and then subscribe to my channel if you want to see more videos like this. Alright, that's it. We'll see you guys.